This is Christopher Lewis looking at the upcoming Tuesday, July 15th trading session. And I have the economic calendar open in front of you. A lot of mixed information coming out during this session. One of the first interesting ones that we will see will be the Bank of Japan monetary policy statement. Now, I don't anticipate too much coming out of it, but it is something that is watched. I believe that the Bank of Japan, pretty much everybody knows that has a loose monetary policy. I don't think that's going to change much. As a result, probably not as impactful as usual, but if they announce even more accommodative policy, it could move the Nikkei specifically and the yen. Consumer Price Index out of Britain and the Core Consumer Price Index as well come out, both of which could be good for stocks or bad, depending on how they come out, especially the FTSE, as well as possibly the pound. Going forward into the day, you can see that we have a plethora of low-level British announcements, nothing that really gets us too interested. There is the possibility of some noise coming out of the BOE's Carney being questioned by lawmakers in the UK, but truthfully that's one of those things that you don't know what's going to happen. It's just an errant comment can move the markets. The United States advanced retail sales will be a market-moving event in the stock markets generally. It is anticipated to be at 0.6, was previously at 0.3. Janet Yellen gives her semi-annual Sadie Hopkins testimony to the congressional members in the United States. That, of course, can move the markets, but she's already come out and said that she thought that perhaps the Fed would have to remain accommodative after a recovery actually took place, which was a bit of a surprise. The New Zealand Consumer Prices Index comes out as well. The CPI can move specifically the New Zealand dollar, but quite frankly, do not expect massive market-moving forces to be unleashed on that announcement. Looking at the euro dollar, you can see that we did get a little bit of a positive move during the session on Monday, but really we gave back half of the gains. We continue to be stuck at 136, and I frankly do not see that changing anytime soon. I think this is essentially a market that's willing to go to sleep, and probably more than likely the sellers will come in at 137, the buyers will come in at 135, and fair value will continue to be 136. Looking over in the pound dollar, you can see that we initially tried to rally and then fell below the 171 level that had been offering support. But you can see that that fall has been somewhat muted. I also would point out the fact, as I drag the line down here, that the 170 level was a significant barrier that we did break out over. So I think 170 is probably the floor in this market. Looking at the dollar yen, we had a positive candle for the day as we continue to be mired between the 101 and 103 levels. Quite frankly, it's a little closer to 102.5 that's truly seeing all of the action. So this market might be one worth watching simply because it has been so predictable. And in fact, apart from this little breakout up here, it has been stuck between these two levels since New Year's. With the Bank of Japan coming out with a monetary policy statement, it is possible we may see a little bit of action in this market, but truthfully, I do not see breaking out of this range anytime soon. And lastly, looking at the S&P 500, a little bit of a gap at the open on Monday, shot higher, and it looks like we are in fact going to try to approach the 2000 level. Now, Yellen's testimony before Congress could be enough to move this market. Quite frankly, though, she has already stated that she thought loose monetary policy would continue after recovery, so really that should be rather bullish for the stock market over the longer term. I still look for pullbacks to be rather supportive and believe that the buyers will continue to enter the market again and again. There is a little bit of an uptrend line there, and you you could even start to make an argument for a channel. Ultimately, 2000 will be the key to much higher levels, and once we break above there, things could get truly interesting.